What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Joe Herrera. Today is March 10th. And on my drive into work today, I was featured on another podcast and I talked about some of these principles. And I was like, you know what? I just need to go live. We're going to turn it into a YouTube video and put it on the podcast with a very simple question, which is exactly how did Taylor and I build a 7-figure revenue share business? What do I mean by that? Well, the numbers are the numbers. So let me create a little bit of competency for you who have no clue who I am. Let me tell you a little bit about our business. So what I'm not talking about is the fact that we have a real estate team that does, from our core team and our affiliate team, we do about 600 to 700 transactions a year. So since June, I think we've closed 460 units. So we've got the rest of March, April, and May, 2.5 months to get another 150 units to get back up to 600. That is our core business. But over the last couple of years, we've built up a secondary business, which has become, truth be told, like a primary business for us, which is a 7-figure revenue share business. So we chose, coming up on 4 years ago, to align with Real Broker, with Real. And at the time we came to Real, we brought with us 80 agents. Real's ecosystem is really awesome because there's a low barrier of entry, meaning if you're a full cap team leader, top producing agent, you're only paying $12,000 a year to the cap. After that, you go 100%. Or if you're a team member, there's a $6K cap, or even for platinum, like top teams in the country, there's a $4K cap. So when we moved over to Real, our goal was to double our agent base. So we wanted to go from 80 agents in just Las Vegas to, the goal was, 200 agents across all of North America. Well, as it stands today, just to give you our actual figures, we currently have a network. Now I'm going to talk about the principle, which is stacking, which is something we teach at Real. We have a network of, I have 3,207 people in my network. And because Taylor's my business partner, he also has 2,775 people. So we're just shy of 6,000 total positions, which make up about 4,500 unique human beings. So we get paid on 6,000 positions with Real, 3,200 positions in my revenue share business, and 2,800 positions in his revenue share business. Last year, we generated right around 1.6 million in revenue share. We think in 2025, we are going to break through the $2 million revenue share barrier. Why do I share this? It's not to brag with you, but just to create some competency, to just say, you could disregard everything I say, but I do have some competency in this area because over the last 4 years, we've built a 7-figure business. Now, it doesn't run itself. Revenue share is an opportunity, but also a responsibility. So we have a responsibility for 4,500 unique individuals that we try to do mentorship, coaching, training, travel quite a bit. We do multiple calls a week just to make sure that the people in our world feel loved, cared for, supported, mentored, whatever it is. But these are all 4,500. I would say half of them are team members. The other half of them are solo entrepreneurs or people running teams. And so we have some absolute killers in our network. But the call today, I've got 16 minutes left to tell you exactly how we did it. So I'll tell you, there's 7 principles I'm going to teach. Whoop, there we go, 7. Principle number 1 is to create competency. So I've tried to do that with you guys in this sense, just to say, like, here's what we've built. Now, when you think of competency is proven by past results. So one industry that's very good at proving competency is the personal injury space. Now, you could laugh and say, like, I hate personal injury attorneys, and that's totally fine. But in every single market I've ever been to, there are billboards that personal injury attorneys put up that just say, over 1 billion settlements earned for our clients. Or a personal injury attorney with their arm around a client that says, I got Lucy $2.7 million settlement, right? So what are they trying to do there? They're not trying to get you to trust them. They're trying to get you to believe they are competent. So in the real estate space, how do we prove our competency to other real estate practitioners? So it's done in really two ways. Number one is by showing the facts of your business. And then number two is to show the facts of your structure. So like for me, I'm able to say we do 600 units a year. We've got in our core office in Las Vegas, just under 200 individuals. So most people in the real estate space would be like, all right, I don't know if I trust this guy or not, but I at least know that he knows what he's doing. So proving your competency is done through the presentation of facts. Well, principle number two, though, is the creation of trust. Now, I was taught this by Phil M. Jones, who wrote Exactly What to Say. This is the trust. I call it the trust creation equation. I don't know what he calls it, but this framework here is really important because the reality is you can prove your competency with your numbers, but in order to gain someone's trust, they don't care what you've done. They only care about you caring about them. So let's just start at the top. Number one, the way we create trust in other individuals is to be curious about them. Because by having curiosity about them and their business, I'm able to create certainty about them. So creating trust is not about me, it's about you. So in order to create trust with individuals, I have to learn about them and their business. By doing that, I gain certainty about them and who they are, which enables me to have empathy. Now, empathy is very misunderstood. I know I misunderstood it. I always thought of empathy as agreeing with people, but in reality, empathy is caring about the things the people you care about care about. And so when I have empathy, it allows me to relate to them. I don't agree with a lot of things people do, but the question is not, do I agree with people? The question is, do I relate to them? Do I have empathy for them? When I relate to them and have empathy, it gives me the courage to ask them to take action. So if I ask someone to take action without having curiosity that gives me a little bit of certainty, the certainty that gives me a little bit of empathy, the empathy that allows me to relate to them a little bit, the ability to relate to them that enables me to say like, hey, because you said X, Y, and Z, I would encourage you to take a look at A, B, and C. If I don't go through that process, then the reality is they won't trust me. Because how can we ever trust someone who doesn't know anything about us? So let's talk about the 5 F's I use when it comes to attracting agents into my world. So number one, we have to demonstrate our competency. Number two, we have to earn people's trust. But then once we've done that, we get into this framework right here, which is the 5 F's of attraction into your revenue share. I don't care if you're at LPT or Real or EXP or Fathom or Realty of America or whatever revenue share-based real estate company comes around. These 5 F's are universal. So the first one is to gather the facts. The problem that most people run into is they don't gather facts, they present facts. So I may get on a call with Billy and I may be like, hey, Billy, hopefully competency has already been demonstrated. But even if they don't know that I'm competent yet, I'm going to start out the conversation all about gathering facts about them. So I'm going to say, Billy, let's say Billy's at Century 21. And I'm like, tell me how you ended up A, in real estate, and B, with Century 21. So I'm going to go on a fact-finding mission about Billy's past. I'm going to say, like my buddy Sharon says, let me ask you 1,000 easy questions. Like, how'd you get into real estate? There's always a story there. Oh, my mom was in real estate, or my dad was in real estate, or I was going to law school and I realized I really loved working with people. I was going to go into real estate law, but I figured, being a realtor was an easier way to get directly with the people, whatever it is. Well, how about Century 21? How'd you end up there? And then I'm going to build a bridge. Well, it sounds like you made a really good decision because you're crushing it in real estate. And Century 21 has the swaggiest jackets in the real estate space. So let's talk about what's going on right now. Tell me about your business. How does it look? Are you solo? Are you a team leader? How's it going? What are some of your challenges and frustrations? Like, what are some of the biggest obstacles you're trying to overcome right now? And then I'm going to go, okay, cool. Let me ask you a couple more questions. Tell me about your goals and aspirations for the future. So I always use this past, present, future framework. Tell me about your past. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on right now. Paint a picture of your ideal future for me, because through that process, past, present, future, I want to get to this phrase. Hey, Billy, because you said. Now, I can't say, Billy, because I said, or hey, Billy, I want you to. I have to be able to say, hey, Billy, because you said. So the number one F word when it comes to agent attraction is gathering facts. Now, the number two, the second step in agent attraction, this is whether you're trying to grow your team from 2 agents to 3, you're trying to grow your network at a revenue share-based company from 10 agents to 20, whatever it is. You gather the facts, and then you have to create freedom. Now, again, I would recommend, as I always do, Phil M. Jones, Exactly What to Say. I've got a million copies of it around here somewhere. Phil would say, hey, Billy, what I'm about to share with you may not be for you. My only ask is that when we're done, you tell me who you know that may be interested. So what I've done through that process is I've created with Billy some freedom. Now, people don't use that framework. The framework they're very comfortable with is, Billy, what I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind, and you would be crazy not to take my advice. Well, what you've done when you tell someone they would be crazy, or you have to see this, or you won't believe what I'm about, whatever type of passionate framework you try to use, paints people into a corner. And when people are painted into a corner, the most logical response for them is, I want out. So even if there may be some baseline interest on their behalf, they're actually, for me, I'm not interested, because you painted them into a corner. So you gather the facts and you create in them some freedom. Hey, Billy, what I'm about to share with you may not be for you, but who do you know who, number 3, this is where you create FOMO. Who do you know who wants to build a bigger business? Who do you know that's looking for more financial freedom? Who do you know that wants to work in a much more collaborative way? Who do you know that, and this is where you create FOMO. So I use 4 basic pillars to discuss the opportunity we have at Real. I talk about, first and foremost, the economic opportunity. So low barrier of entry, massive upside with revenue share, stock, and things like that. I then move from the economics to the technology. Like, one of the things I love about Real is our CTO, Pritesh, is building technology that is owned by the shareholders of the company, which if you're an agent at Real, you should be a shareholder. So I go, number 1, economics. Number 2, technology. Number 3, I talk about the culture. Guys, in a revenue, and I would say, Billy, as you know, in a revenue share-based industry, it can become very tribal. It can become very siloed. It can become very me versus you. It become very, if you're not with me, you're against me. The goal here is not to create a culture of isolation. The goal with what I'm building at Real is to create a culture of collaboration. So I talk about the economics, I talk about the technology, I talk about the culture. And then I ask one very simple question, which is, hey, Billy, in Oklahoma City, how big is Real right now? Like, how many agents do you know that are with Real? Now, the fact of the matter is, at least when it comes to Real, we're still a relatively small company. We have 26,000 agents across North America. When you look at some of the other companies, like a Keller Williams is over 100,000, EXP is approaching 100,000. So we're still 25% as big as some of those companies. And so most people are going to say, yeah, there's not very many agents here in Oklahoma City. And I'm going to say, well, Billy, number 4, the 4th thing I like to talk about to create FOMO is the opportunity. I believe our company is going to hit 75,000 agents. We're only a third of the way there. So as much as it's able to say like, man, I wish I got into real when you did, Joe, 4 years ago, there's more growth ahead of us than there is behind us. We've only brought on 26,000 agents. If we're going to get to 75,000 agents, there's still 49,000 agents to come. And so I try to paint that picture of opportunity. So FOMO is created by somebody feeling like they're missing out on either our economics, our technology, our culture, or our opportunity. The next thing, Chris Smith taught me a really good framework for moving the conversation forward. Number 4, forward momentum. Hey, Billy, here's what's going to happen next. Here's what I'm going to ask of you. However you want to say it. Here's what happens next is a great question, or a great statement, I should say, because it enables them to know, okay, we're taking forward momentum. So I may say, hey, Billy, here's what happens next. I'm going to send you a couple of pieces of information about some of the stuff we've talked about. Again, all I ask of you is, it may not be for you. Just keep in mind, like, dude, you know who would really like this is Jimmy or Julie or Sandy, right? Like, I don't care who they are. I want to work with somebody in Oklahoma City. And like, right now, I don't have a ton of partners there. I actually do. But if I didn't, I'd say, hey, Billy, I don't have any collaboration partner in Oklahoma City, no one to refer business to, no one to host events with, no one to do virtual events with. Like, just, the only favor I would ask is, as I send you this stuff, think of anyone that may be interested. Well, I'm just going to follow up with you in a couple of days. How's Tuesday? I'll just shoot you a quick text like, hey, Billy, who have you thought of? Now, rule number 5, you have to actually follow up. So you could do something as simple as, we all know the magic word. I don't want to kick it off on my phone, but hey, so-and-so, remind me to call Billy next Tuesday. And then a reminder will pop up on your phone to call Billy. Like, put it in your calendar. Here's the thing. No matter how much I've established trust and competency, no matter how much I've gathered facts about them or created freedom, no matter how much FOMO I've built up in them and or forward momentum I've given in this conversation, if I don't follow up, it all comes crashing down. Now, the reason we don't follow up is because we don't treat this as an actual business. The people I know that are making real money with a revenue share-based company are the ones who treat it like an actual business. So Billy, for me, would be considered a potential client, potential partner. But just like with real estate clients, you have to make sure you follow up. If I'm going to run with Billy and if Billy's going to run with me, I have to actually follow up. So we're 18 minutes. I've done it in under 20. Let me recap. Number 1, you have to prove your competency. Number 2, you have to earn their trust. Number 3, you have to gather facts about them, which is a trust building exercise. Number 4, you have to allow them to feel free. You're not pushing them into a corner. Number 5, you have to create some sort of FOMO. You have to make them recognize that there is a better opportunity for them somewhere else. That somewhere else is hopefully with you. Number 6, you have to tell them, hey, here's what happens next. And last but not least, number 7, you have to actually follow up. Guys, this revenue share-based aspect of real estate, I've owned 2 different brokerages. This revenue share model is completely transformative. And you have all the freedom in the world if you're in this ecosystem to not grow it. But people like me who treat this like an actual business are seeing it change our lives. So this video may not be for you, but who do you know that's looking to build a massive 7-figure, 6-figure, 5-figure revenue share-based business? Please share this with them. I'm the easiest guy in the world to get a hold of, at Joe Herrera on Instagram. Would love to connect with you. Would love to connect with your friends. Send this to somebody you think may find value. This podcast, this YouTube video, whatever it is. Hope to connect with you in the future. I hope you're not missing out on this opportunity because the revenue share-based model is here to stay. People are changing their lives by it. My life has been changed by it. Huge fan of it. Hope you're having a great start to 2025. Hopefully we get some lower interest rates that are going to help us as well. Have a great day, guys. I hope you're finding value in the content you've been consuming. And my goal is to earn your subscription. So subscribe down below so that you get notified when we drop new content every single week.